Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, hey, without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And football gods, up, drop the remote. Football gods, wake up. Today, friends, as we set 50 days, 10 hours, 25 minutes away from kickoff of the Dallas Cowboys versus the Los Angeles Rams. Ooh, today is a monumental day for our 2020 Dallas Cowboys. Our rookies started on Tuesday getting their coronavirus test done. And if they passed all of those tests, today they are able to go work out at the Star. Finally, oh my God, finally. I almost want to cry. It's amazing. Now, the bad news that we have, of course, is last night being reported that 9 teams had reported their test results for the corona test, and 12 players had tested positive. We learned that Kansas City Chiefs starting guard, one of their starting guards, has decided he's opting out for the season. He's actually a part-time nurse in the off season and stuff, and he is actually giving back and realizing I don't need to be risking more people for sport I love. So he's like, I'm out. I'm good for this year. And having a ring already, that probably helps as well. It'll be interesting today because I'm curious if we're going to have, like Mike Fisher and guys camping out at the Star to see what players go in, because if you went in and worked out, then that means you passed your corona test. If you don't show up, if we don't see CD Lamb at some point go into the Star today, then maybe he tested positive. Maybe he was one of those 12. I don't know. And don't start quoting me and saying that. I'm just using that as a hypothetical situation. The way it's going to work is the NFL and the NFLPA have come together and gotten a financial agreement where the salary cap won't change this year. It's staying right where it is. And next year, regardless of what happens, the floor for next year will be $175 million. So, worst case, it goes down $23 million, not the Armageddon that we were looking at. Now, here's what they'll do. Let's say that this year, the gate revenues just go down the toilet. Let's say they're not able to play all the games. The worst the salary cap will be is 175 million, and the money that is lost below that will be divided out over 3 seasons. So it won't be that whole thing where they just lose everything, and after the 2021 season, they renegotiate the television contracts, which we know are going to be a boom. After seeing the Yankees versus the Nationals, rating for television viewership was up higher than it's been in 10 years. Of course, that makes sense because everybody's been thirsty for sports. Now I will say I was not one of those. I'm sorry, I just can't do baseball. Baseball's just nothing personal against baseball. I just got too much going on to really become a diehard baseball fan. The NFL and the Dallas Cowboys are enough to keep up with on its own. I mean, seriously, it's even in the off season. There's drama. Oh my God, there's drama with the Cowboys. Whew. Maybe if I were a fan of another team, I could do baseball, but not with the Cowboys because we are full of drama. So the way it's going to work is, first of all, we're not going to have reporters at practice like we had before. Now, I don't know just yet if they will have feeds and remote cameras and things where, the media is able to watch. That could be a possibility. They've already talked about the media is not going to have access to the locker rooms, that any interviews will be done via, Zoom or Skype and things like that. It's going to be a totally different season. The NBA, which is, getting ready to kick off as well, that they have basically like 1 or 2 live cameramen, and everything else are all remote cameras. This is where if you are a company that makes remote cameras, you're doing really, really good right now. My company, Mevo, where I've got 3 Mevo cameras here, I keep trying to get another one of their new starts, but they keep going out of stock and things like that because they're selling like hotcakes. And it's funny because, see, I don't think this is me, my personal opinion. Okay, now I'm not an expert. I don't work for the NFL. This is just the way I'm looking at things. As I was reading on Twitter about the viewership of the game, and people were commenting and say it doesn't matter. It's like, who's going to advertise because we're all sitting at home. There's nothing to sell. Actually, you'd be surprised because it may be that maybe you're not able to sell the car, as the person said. Who's going to buy a car with all this stuff going on? Actually, I did during Corona. I bought another truck. I bought another truck from Carvana, okay? But business is always going to happen. Things are going to evolve, so it may not be your traditional sports advertising, but if I know that there's people there at home watching, that's a captive audience that are higher than normal, I got a product that may end up being something that I would really like to be able to sell. And things are evolving. Just like I don't see as many people on the roads driving traffic. I'm loving it going to a job that I'm working on because I'm not spending 2 hours driving. Now I'm spending 30 minutes. But things change. Just like this Mevo camera that all of a sudden, web cameras, hot ticket item. You're advertising on TV. If you are building desk or home office furniture, this is the time to be advertising because people are at home. Televisions, hey, you're at home now. You can't go to the movie theater. We've got a big ass television screen for you. So don't think that there's not advertising going on. If anything, there's even more advertising that's happening right now. And this is actually an opportunity for the NFL to change. Because when you think about this, this is going to make the NFL's position at renegotiating the television contract better. Because as you have less, new shows and things like that, and if college football doesn't go off and the NFL plays games on Saturday, oh my God, the numbers for that's going to go through the roof. You're going to have down low advertising that's in the stadium. You'll sell that. You're going to have viewership up, which means advertisers are going to advertise more on these games because they're more important now. They're bigger. And so you're going to look at this at the point of the NFL being able to negotiate from a position of power. Viewership was up last year. Viewership, if there's a season, will be up this year as well. And when they go at the end of next year and say, hey, we got more games, we got more playoff games, we saved your ass during the coronavirus, that money will be there. So it won't be a problem per se where the salary cap goes and takes major hits. And for them to spread this out was the best thing they could do. Now, players, because they haven't had OTAs, some players have gyms and things like that. They're cut up, they're shredded, they're ready to go. They've been working out with the quarterback and everything else. They are ready to play a game. But that's not necessarily everybody. Some people, you're a borderline player. You're undrafted free agent. You just got to town, and then the coronavirus happened and shut down. The gyms have been closed. You haven't been able to work out. I've seen guys that are pushing the couch around in the living room and stuff like that, picking up the kids because they don't have weights and things. So the NFL and the NFLPA realize we've got to do strength and conditioning for the first 2 weeks or so of practice to get these guys at least into some kind of semblance. From there, then it'll be 5 days of walkthrough practice. Well, not really walkthrough. It'll be helmets and shoulder pads. From there, then they'll finally start after 16 days. 16 days. Day 16. It will finally be actually padded practices. So you won't actually have a padded practice until August 13th. That will be the first time. Wow. And we're not going to see any preseason games. So a lot of the stuff that's the normal hype of what we do and talk about and the camp battles and things, along with the reduced roster, teams are encouraged to cut the rosters to 80 people before training camp comes. But I believe because of what happened already with baseball, the viewership and everything else, money talks and BS walks. And for every player that opts out or ends up testing positive for coronavirus, I can guarantee you there's 1,000 other people who would love to have the opportunity to play in the NFL, even if it's only for a couple of weeks. So I believe there's going to be a football season. I definitely believe that there's going to be a football season. And I hope and pray that I'm right on this one. So I'm getting ready to go out here, get my walk in with my wife. She's got 13,450 steps that she got to do today, which means I got 13,450 steps that I got to do today. Whew. And since it's Saturday morning, we're going to do one of those destination walks. We're going to go find a park and walk around a lake or something. So I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I'm trying to do what I can to try and stay around as long as I can. Hope you guys have a great day. Welcome back. It is training day. I'll see you soon.